Hello and welcome to Stacia 2 Expert. As you remember from last episode, I got Applied Energistics running up, and over here I've cleaned up between episodes, including setting up my auto crafting on the mechanical press, the rolling mill, crushing wheel, the compressors. I've attached a storage bus on a storage controller under here, right here, that handles all of it. Which actually I forgot to put the obsidian on. We'll put that back. And I have my energizing cube, which I need to set up today. We'll get into that later. Over here, I've started a new machine hall. In this little hallway for these machines that are not going to be like passiving, I'm just going to be putting them in and they'll be done. Ignore these for now. This is just like to get basic patterns available. Like this is simple machine frame. Over here, I have passive dielectric paste, basically. It's basically passive, and we have 2000 in the drawer. And we have room over here for more machines, and we can expand this when we eventually get around to building the tower here and the Britannia area here. If we come up top, show off, I did automate this should be a rod. This is a gear. This is a rod press. I just built the second one so I can separate the recipes. We have a lot to automate today. And over here I've expanded off top of the stuff down here, and up here I've added a little space with a lot of stuff. But this is my ore processing room. Let's start from the beginning. This is my Marid. You remember him from last episode. Very cool, very nice. As you can see, he's crushing up all my stuff, and it's going into that chest, and the chest is slowly filtering it out where it needs to go. To start, we have the dimensional mine shaft, which is slowly generating ores. That comes up here into this diamond chest, which has a backlog, but it's slowly getting rid of it. Basically, this setup is, I don't think you can pipe into the Marid because it's an entity, but he'll go and pick up ores on the ground. I meant to show that last episode and forgot. Basically, I have a dropper that's just throwing it at him, and if I check the timer here, it's on a 2.5 second delay, which I believe is how fast Marid is. Every 2.5 seconds it breaks it, or maybe it's 2 seconds. But I've always found, in my testing at least, 50 is the safe option. And I don't find that ores accidentally get picked up by the hopper at 50 seconds. But in case they do, I have a pipe underneath this facade, filtered for all the ores that can possibly go in there. That just leads back into the chest over here. From the chest, we have something filtered for iron. Iron goes over here, follows this cable, and heads into the cyclic macerator that we had last episode. And that continues on. Up here, we have all the items that we don't want to crush or do anything to. This pipe leads directly to the storage controller. There's also a pipe for the stuff that wants to be crushed, but then is also put into the storage drawer. And from here, I have stuff that needs to go directly from that chest down here and doesn't get crushed. But stuff like the arcane ore, which needs to be smelted into the raw arcane to do it first. So, from the chest, we have from the front here, just our basic dust, arcane ore, and resonating ore. That goes into these smelting arrays that are filtered here. Only let the finished product go through, and when an item gets through like that, immediately taken by this that blacklists all the normal items in case any go through. Goes into the storage drawer, goes to the wall, and there is a whitelist for raw arcane that's also blacklisted over here. Raw arcane, after being smelted, needs to be crushed into source gems. As you can see here, I have 86. That's a decent amount. It's not been running for too long, because some of these are not full, but it's still decent. It's very good. And obviously I can just scale this up if I need more production, but I think by that point we'll have mystical agriculture, which will be way easier to set up than this. mess of wires I have going here. And all the dust for like gems and stuff need to go into the enrichment chamber. I'm not getting any right now. Oh, I think that was it. Yeah, lapis dust goes in to give us lapis. And again, all this filters into the storage controller, which makes this way easier. So yeah, here's my resources. Today's main focus is we are going to take all of this, like this chest and this enchanting apparatus and all that, and we want to automate it. We want it so that when we go into AE2, we can just set a pattern, have it go over, craft it, and we can just wait for it. That's our main goal today. Because the whole microcrafting process for especially the machine frame is a pain. So we're going to need to automate a lot. Enchanting apparatus, probably number 1. The energizing orbs, probably number 2, because this takes forever. And, you know, stuff like the blood infuser is going to be nice. Although I might passive reinforce slate and basic slate, because these are going to be important anyways, and they do take a while to make. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. But number 1 on the docket, let's automate these 3 frames. I want the auto crafting for these to be done. I am back. I've picked up everything we should need. First, let's just put down a chest to put our stuff into. Put a pipe down. And the first thing we're going to be automating is the enchanting apparatus from Ars Nouveau. Second time's the charm. I tried doing this with pipes, these pipes, but they don't work. The destination just doesn't work on them. That was a waste of time. Now I'm gonna try and see if I can get the laser IO to work, which I already messed up. Now that I have the wrench, I believe I can connect this. I want this to pick up all the items here and disperse them. Select you, connect you. I can't interact with you. If I view, let's have you extract from down. So what happens if I put it in deep slate? It does nothing. Okay, what if I have this? How do I filter this? Basic filter? So we can craft up the filter. We want 2 of them for the dense plate. And there. Okay, this is what we can allow. Now this is south. Here, like that. And if I... There we go. And if we put it in deep slate and take you out, it's not going to do it. We found our solution. Honestly, a very good mod for these setups. So we can set this one up the same way, except this one needs to be north. Yes, north. One there. So dense plate. There we are. We can set this one to harden capacitors. Same with this one. This one's east. This one would be west. We put the capacitors in. Perfect. This one's going to be down. This one's for the electrum gear. Down. Before I do anything, pick all you up. Put in the electrum gear. Okay. Why aren't you working? So I put those 2 in. They work. Oh, it needs to be put in last. That makes sense. So fluid flux cell frame. And we can use our last item card for the flux frame. There. And that'll be east. And we can have an extract that for the flux frame. That will go here. Extracts it. And puts it in the return inventory. Great. This is the setup I have. Fairly cheap, considering this is the only expensive thing here is the electronic circuit. In all of these, actually. The only expensive thing. Iron, but we have plenty of that. Now I gotta set up the filters for the rest of it, but this is basically done. I'll wire it up and I'll come back when I'm done doing that so we can move on to the next automation. After we've gotten the enchanting setup connected, really bad cable, but I'm not sure how I'm cabling this yet. I'll leave it right now. And as you can see, I have it filtered for flux cell frame, the machine frame, and the ME controller. I have all their patterns here, and this should be fully automated. Next is probably the more important thing, the Energizing Orb. Now, I've gone ahead and upgraded the cable. I didn't upgrade the cables. Well, these should be enough for how much they're producing. What I'm doing here, as you can see, 18 million FE required for this recipe. This is the energizing for charged snowballs. And I'm batch crafting it. This requires a ton of energy. This is needed for stuff like Cryothium and Blizz Powder, and later on the Rune of Winter. I'm going to need much better power generation for this. But all we need to do now is, once this is done, I need set up auto crafting for this. So I should be, honestly, I should be fine with just item pipes, right? Only one place for them to go. Under here, break that. I have 3 smart cables. Great. Make up some more. And under here, I can connect that. Do that. Oh, charge snowballs are done. And we can put down the pattern provider like that. Place down the orb like that. Connect the pipes on the side like that. And we need to find all the stuff that we need to automate. There we go. That's all the stuff. And if we come over here, we should be able to just make patterns for each of these. There's all of them done. Although I am concerned that I'm not going to have enough pattern provider slots. Yeah, I'm going to have to miss out on one. We'll leave it the Turtis Crystals. We'll probably have to make another Energizing Orb anyways. With that, we come back over here and let's, I don't know, order Ironium. Whatever it's called. Yeah, Ironium. Down here. Order 10 as it's crafting. Over here. Ah, that's the mistake. We need blocking mode on. Yeah, there we go. Blocking mode will stop it from inputting when there's already an item in there. And it's needed for these things that can be full. And this is filling up nicely. Great. There's that done. That's the Energizing Orb. Now, if we come over here, pick up the Blood Infuser. And coming over to the Mage Tower, I guess we can just set up here. And I'm pretty sure we'll passive this later on. But for now, we'll just boom. Like that. Well, that's going to annoy me. But we can, I think that's literally it. So we just wire that over, get a facade like that. And we'll have to fill in the blood myself. But eventually we're going to have access to ender tanks, which isn't too bad of a recipe. The big issue right now is this teleportation core. Requires a ton of game stuff. Honestly, the worst thing is getting the crafting core stuff. It's just a lot of micro crafting that I don't think I want to get into doing right now. So for now, we're fine with just doing what it is. I think I made a mistake. But over here, where is it? Yeah, the reinforced slates. What we can do, grab patterns for these. No. When we get around to having A2 fluid buses and stuff, we can add the blood to add when we need it. But for now, we're going to get rid of the blood and just fill it up with blood ourselves. So if we go in here, throw those in. Let's go over here and let's say I want 32 basic slates. One should appear soon. Well, why did it input into the output? Slowly but surely we'll get these. This is really slow. A lot of these setups are not permanent. I want to make that clear. I will likely fix them in between episodes at some point. But we have our 32. And I want to make, I guess 15 reinforced is fine. Which is doing the same thing. Alright, well, that's the blood infuser automated. I don't know if there's any other blood infuser recipes. Yeah, but the rest of this is probably fine. So, for the machine frame, what else do we need to automate? Gears we can craft. Advanced alloy. Redstone servos. Honestly, what we have might be fine. The rest of this we can kind of just batch craft until we find a permanent home. I'm going to say the machine frame's done. So it should be easy enough to craft up later. Hydraulic engines I have the machine for that I can just process. Steel plates are fine. HP wire is fine. Metal girder is fine. All of this is fine. Cured rubber is the only issue, but that's fine. I'll say this is also done. And same with the simple machine frame. That leaves steel casing, which honestly I'll need it, but I don't think I'll automate it right now. So I guess that's all I need to do for now on auto crafting situation. I want to get around automating all this for sure. Don't get me wrong. But a bigger hurdle for it is space. So I guess we're going to move on to the next thing, which is going to be, I want to build out at least a layout. I want the courtyard around the Britannia area to be done, which includes this machine hall, which eventually is going to be a big spot for a lot of my automation. This is more of like a literal hall where it leads into the Manage Tower here. And I'm probably going to build up at least like the foundation, I guess, here of the Mage Tower. I'm not sure if I'm doing the digging out of the meteor area. Probably not. Building montage time. Coming over here to what I've been building, as you can see, brand new machine hall. Honestly, not a huge fan of how it looks. I'm more so looking for function at this point. I think it looks fine. I've got this hooked up to a storage controller that goes to Turtis and the dielectric paste. We'll get into the Turtis and the Pure Daisy later, but right now I have two more important things in the quest book in progression tree. The next thing on the list, first of all, we need a multi-servo press, which I got all the stuff for. Let's just pick that up. Also, the lag's getting really bad in the Ars Nouveau storage, so that's probably going to get replaced next episode. And I'll just put the press there. I don't have like a whole lot of use for it, but I'm not going to complain about it. The next thing in our progression is the tier 1 rocket, which says there are 4 different goddess ingots in the pack. You need to go to the moon to craft 3 of them. Good luck. You also need a dash plate to produce luminescence. Don't forget to grab some dash ore while you're there. And by some, I mean a lot. So, we're gonna have to go to the moon. Probably another planet at some point. And you might notice this giant sheep farm. I've been farming them for wool because they're needed for the smart cable. That brings us to the NASA workbench. Now, if I view this recipe tree, it doesn't fit on screen. It's quite big. So we just need to focus on one bit of it today, if I can find it. Ink slime. We need that for the advanced machine frame, the next tier of frame we need to get. And we're going to need like dragon steel, the ender crafter, but I'm not going to worry about that today. Right now, I want to pick up ink slime, and these sheep are going to help me do that. Honestly, let me just put a pit in the ground. Let's grab some wheat. This might be a mistake, but everyone come with me. There's that. They're being loud as hell down there. What we do need to make is this baby separator, this animal feeder, this rancher, this mob slaughter factory. I need to build like a cage where a ton of adult sheep are going to go in here. You want a feeder to breed them and a rancher to get wool. So rancher for wool, feeder to feed them. And we'll probably have to pipe out of this one. What does the export bus cost? Literally nothing. Oh my god. You're actually cheap as hell. We'll do this after. But rancher, this is going to activate, give it power, and it's going to attempt to milk, but there's only going to be sheep. And it's going to shear the sheep to give us wool, which is going to go into a drawer. Give it a little stand, I guess. That's going to be the only item really supplied. Configuration and linking. I wonder, is this too far? No. So we can just pipe it like that. That's probably fine. Right here, not the mob slaughter, we have the baby separator. I think that's backwards, actually. We want here. And then we need this container. And we can put the mob slaughter factory here. Mob slaughter factory will kill. So, process how this works. Put a bunch of adults here. We'll ranch them for wool that goes in there. We'll feed them with the wheat being grown over there. This, when it gets fed, They'll breed, give babies. The babies will be put over here, and then they'll be murdered by the mob slaughter factory, giving us liquid meat and pink slime. That makes sense? I'm gonna be yapping. Who knows? Usually am. These have 400 uses every 5 seconds. Same here. I'm wondering if an alternator is even going to be enough. We put it like that, and that should be it wired up. We just do that. You should be powering. It doesn't look like they take power unless its action's actually done. If we put you, and we do adults. Yeah, it looks like you're backwards. Let's get a new test subject. Change that to adults. And you should move. Yeah, perfect. Change you to babies. Honestly, we can just move a bunch of sheep now. That's probably enough. I'll just let them breed a little bit before turning this back on. What I definitely can do is I can cover this. Not looking good for you guys. Let's just... Why did that almost crash? Yeah, let's just hide that. Turn it back on now, I think. Are you gonna die? Oh, eaten. And we got liquid meat and pink slime. Sweet. So what we can do over here, a big old tank, like a smaller tank. I don't care as much for the meat. Take a fluid pipe. Disconnect you. We'll disable pink slime going out at first. But this is meat. And this one back here should be pink slime now. Yeah. So, pink slime, liquid meat, I'll put to the side. And we can cover this up. A pretty compact setup. Now, it's not going to be too efficient. Obviously, there's only a bucket of pink slime in here right now. There'll be like a bucket every time these guys can be bred. So, you know, not a whole lot of production. I'll definitely up it when I have more uses for it. And I mean, liquid meat I'll probably just trash. I don't intend on using it, I don't think. But for now, we have wool. That is wool, liquid meat, and pink slime automated. Now, the big reason I need pink slime is actually the laser base. I can probably make the ore laser base, and that'd be fine. And I would probably just set it up over here. I'm not sure where I'd put it in this room. Probably like right here. That's not too important. I don't really care about it right now. In the setup, we need pink slime for this advanced machine frame, which we need for the fluid laser. We also need ether gas, which is only from the fluid laser at any biome at any Y with a purple ore lens, as long as it's over a wither. So we have to find a way to capture a wither and just put a mining laser over it. I think this is the perfect spot for it, honestly. Having the wither in the inside of this meteorite and having the ore laser above it, mining it, and then pumping it up to a tank here in the middle. I think that looks sick. So like the tank like this, obviously taller, but I think that'd look cool. So yeah, I'm gonna grab everything except for the machine frame, and I'll be back when I'm ready to do that. All right, I've gathered up everything I need. I can grab 1, 2, 3, 4 drills. I'm gonna put those in my backpack for now. And I've gathered everything but the frame for the laser base. So let's find out what we need for this. We need a simple machine frame. Since it requires 500 pink slime, I think it's probably smart to just do 2 so I can get a bucket out of here. When I make up the recipe for it, since I have a fluid bus on that now, if I look in here for pink, yeah, it's here. But when I make up the recipe for the advanced frame, yeah, I can just put it in. Just do that. Ooh, this is a pain in the ass. Stabilized redstone is... Oh, I'm actually already making that. Yeah, here I have some destabilized redstone. These 3 I have. I need melodium ingot, advanced capacitor, and end steel ingot. End steel ingot's probably the easiest. How do I make end steel? Obsidian, dark steel, and end stone. Make half a stack, I guess. Manual crafting, we may as well do it this way. This should give us end steel. Gives us 1 at a time. There's the 4 we need. We can throw that into the gear press. There's the end steel gear. Advanced capacitors. This is a bit annoying. Advanced capacitors is the dissolution chamber recipe rest of this actually doesn't look too bad. We need 2 of these capacitors. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 500 each, so that works out. Iron, aluminum. We need 8. Like that. And we need these advanced coils. We need flux infused gems. Diamonds, like 8, I guess. Also needs a gold chipset. Gold infused alloy and RAM chip. I only need 2. And alloy, you have it. I need 2 RAM chips. And we can throw those in. There's our chips. There's the flux infused gems. Get 2 advanced coils, which I just realized I need 2 more because can't count apparently. Over here we can put the destabilized redstone in. The fluid output should probably not be pushing. Just disable that real quick. Put all this stuff in that. Block the input so it's easier. That's our first circuit or capacitor. That's our second capacitor. And we can pick these up in case they're a plus or something. Now we just have this melodium, which will make up a decent amount, I guess. You have enough, thank God. You're done. You're very slow. We're gonna have to make more of you, upgrade you. But if we go and grab melodium, now that should be everything I need, actually. So dissolution chamber, put you in. Probably gonna keep a stockpile of melted steel at some point. We'll probably make a recipe for it. But we can go in here. Advanced machine frame, request 1. Look, I have everything. There it is. Pick it up. Advanced machine frame. We're gonna need way more of these. But for now, it's set up. So we can grab the fluid laser base, grab the laser drills. Now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this. I don't think I've ever mined ether gas. So I'm gonna quickly have a look at how that works, and I'll be back. Now I've gathered up some more materials. I did hollow this out. I do kind of want the ore lasers to be visible. I think we'll do it like this. Base here. And then we can do drills like this. And I know I can speed it up. And it wouldn't even be too expensive. This is the rate that I found that it doesn't kill the wither. I know you're supposed to use the stasis chamber, but this is a whole process. You have to have HDPE, you have to have carbonite, you have to go for Duraplast. This is a whole thing that I don't want to get into this episode. But if I grab up some fluid, please tell me this is enough. This is gonna be nowhere near enough. Well, I'll make that up. Like that, we can put an alternator down. Probably best to put another one, just in case. I already made up the lens. Yeah, there we are. Put that in there. I'm gonna turn you off in case you do give something. I don't want that to start mining and start pumping stuff until we can make sure that we have a wither there so we can get ether gas. So this is the basic gist. These laser drills will make the fluid-based mine, and currently with this, it's gonna mine ether gas when it's above the wither. Put a torch down here so it doesn't go bad. And we'll have a wither in here. We don't want him to move around, so we want this fully encased, and he'll go directly in the middle. And in my creative testing, this was able to get him through the casing, the reinforced obsidian. When these get powered, these will charge it, and hopefully it'll flow into the tank, and we'll have access to ether gas. But I'll come back when I'm ready to show it off. I'm back with all this stuff. I have all this powered. Moment of truth. Let's build it the other way. In case I can't get out. Half out already. Alright. 1, 2, 3. We can turn you on now. Ow. Yeah, ether gas. 20 millibuckets. Try to make sure nothing gets exploded. Doesn't look like anything's exploding. We're good. And does look like he's healing from the damage he's taking. And we have 70 millibuckets of ether gas. That's that done. With the ether gas piling up, the next thing I want to automate is Turtis Crystals, because I'm going to need a lot more AE2 stuff in the future. I was going to start the NASA workbench, but I think this is a next episode thing. mainly because of like, you have to start pneumatic craft, you have to get the etching tank, and you have to actually make the etching tank. Requires all this stuff, which requires immersive engineering, which requires Duraplast, which is a whole line. I already said earlier I don't want to start this today. Yeah, I think the whole goal of next episode is going to be getting the rocket and going to the moon, I guess. For now, let's just set up automation of Turtis Crystals, and while we're at it, we may as well automate Pure Daisy. But what do we actually need? Well, we need a formation plane. We're going to need a lot of that, actually. We're going to need 8 for the Pure Daisy and none for these. So we need 8 formation and 11. Was it Annihilation? I think it's Annihilation. Yeah. I have this one with Silk Touch. I believe is necessary for the crystals. But let's grab... You know, I'll be back when I have them done. When I have all the resources. Alright, I'm back. I've grabbed up all the stuff I need. Let's put the drawers down. We'll configure them to be locked. And we need to connect this here. I want this to be configured for living wood and living rock. Like that. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to have a storage bus with this red cable. We need an anchor here. And we can put down normal cables like this. Grab some dirt. And we want to put the Pure Daisy here. And formation planes here. We want treated wood and source stone. Like that. And we want to avoid turning that on yet. Put all this down. And then we can put the annihilation planes. Connect all that up. So we can break all that. What happens if I place living wood? You know what? That would be a question to answer after we have ME controller done. Now we need to set this up. We can probably just put it like here. We'll set it here. If I remember correctly, Fluix only transfers power, right? If I do this, no. What just transfers power? Quartz fiber. Like that. And yeah, grab some more cable. Grab the red dye. I swear you could dye ME controllers. Am I wrong? Was it paintballs I can do that? Oh well, we won't worry about it right now. Connect these up. This will have the same idea, basically. Why isn't that working? You are connected to that. Maybe if I grab a drawer, do I need it to be configured to that? No. Oh, well, that's probably the answer. This isn't hooked up. Is that it? Let's break this. Is it going to give us Turtis? What happens if we just put the annihilation plane down? 445. 449. Okay. We don't need Silk Touch at all. Always some resource doing this, but that's fine. I don't think I need the Turtis stuff anyways. Oh, we can get fortune on those at some point too, but for now, that's actually Turtis completely done. And yeah, see? One living wood in. If we... The braking's working for sure. I'm just not sure. Maybe I need a second subnet for placing? That's doable. Won't be too big of a deal. Clean this up here. They are getting added. They're not getting... I think I do need... I don't know. But honestly, this is fine. The big important thing was having this automated. We can... Yeah, we can probably just do that. Alright, I am back. I was just editing and realized I didn't really explain this all this much. And I do have a setup done now. I'll explain the Turtis first. So here we have these growth chambers that are accelerating these flawless buds to grow the crystals super fast. And as you can see, these annihilation planes are breaking them and giving us the Turtis quartz. And the way these annihilation planes work is that they need a drawer or like any storage to put the item they're trying to destroy in. Otherwise, they won't break it. Why they don't break the large, the medium, and the small Turtis quartz buds? They'll only break the full one that'll give the quartz that fits in here. That's how annihilation planes work. Very simple, very easy. And that's the reason why we needed a second controller. Because if this was actually connected, then we'd have the issue of all of these drawers being connected and the arcane storage over here. Like, they'd start filling this with, like, Turtis quartz, which is not good. We don't want to do that. And the same is true for these annihilation planes over here. Right now I have some source stone in there. So it's not going to break the source stone because there's no spot to put it, but it will break the living rock when it's converted. And right now, I just have source stone. These are the block placers from Cyclic. These are very cheap, very, very cheap. Basically just stone, 2 redstone, and a copper, I think. And these don't require power, they just sort of place. So all I got is a pattern provider that provides one source stone and 1 treated wood, and it'll get stored in here, which is visible from my AE2. Block placers will place, and then the annihilation plane will break it when it transforms. So this is the setup I got going, and I do have one more thing to show off with this liquefied source. I have a condenser here, and if you give it source, it'll give you a block of liquid source that you can just like place like that. But if I go find a lava source over here, I believe if I just place this, no, if I place lava down, actually, and then I think if we place the source here, no, there we go. When 2 flowing blocks meet like this, it'll produce source stone, which has this recipe, which is fully doable. It's just stone and andesite and the gems, but this is fully renewable, just passive. You can just put this into a cobble gen, and like I could just keep breaking this. 25 already. I know the author is watching my videos. You've commented. I'm glad you're watching them, but I don't know if this is like intended. If you want to let me know, that'd be great. I'm gonna assume it's not, and I'm just not gonna use it. I have it on auto crafting anyways, and I have everything for it. But yeah, commenter showed me that. I'll put them on screen. But with that, I think it's worth to wrap up the episode. I'm already late. I'm recording this the day it's gonna come out. It was meant to go out yesterday, and then I got caught up, and I have busy work to do. The next episode will probably take a bit longer to come out. Plan for that episode is the NASA workbench. So it's gonna be a very montage-heavy episode, and also I have some commitments I need to do. Yeah, I'll probably be slowing down to probably maybe once a week. Again, I'm not sure if I can even commit to that, but I'll see. If it's gonna be longer than a week, I'll put out a community post, and unfortunately that's just how it is. That's gonna be it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode of Stacia 2 Expert.